Some other things you might think of adding: grits, a hot cereal. This can be eaten for any meal really. Grits are actually great to eat at night. Oatmeal, cream of wheat. Children tend to love it, and on a cold day there's nothing better than a warm meal in your stomach. You can also, and we do, put away instant milk. We actually have a cow and a couple of goats that we milk here on the property, but we do put away some dry milk just in case something would happen. We also have eggs that we get regularly from our chickens that we can utilize in a crisis situation. Another staple that's real important is peanut butter. This is that Goober strawberry that I showed you before. It has the peanut butter and jelly in the same can. This is a great item because moms don't really want to think in a crisis situation. I've got to go down here, I've got to stock peanut butter and jam and jelly or this or that. You can get it all out of one can, and that's a good way to go. We also carry just some regular peanut butter, and of course we do have some regular cans of jam as well. In fact, let me see if I got that here. There we go. This is a can we go with. Now, you may say, I don't can at home. Well, here's a can of jam that we can take. This is, what, 3.5 pounds, I believe? No, 8 pounds. This is 8 pounds of jam. We got this for $2.99. And what we will do is we'll put this on a shelf with the date on the top. If we ever come into a crisis, we save old bottles. And so we will go ahead and put this into 6 or 7 1.5, 2 pound jars, whatever it is, 8 1 pound jars. And then we can put those back on the shelf. And they'll last quite a while in a situation where you need to use them. Also, if you don't can, you can pick up all sorts of different vegetables. This is corn, $2. This is beans. This was $2.99. This is some other beans, just like beans in a sauce, like campfire beans, $2.29. So there's a lot of things that you can do with your food, whether or not you can. These are great prices, and in honesty, I'm not sure if we could, with the cost of electric and growing the crops, grow them for much cheaper than $2 for a big can like that. So it's a good item to go out and stock. This is something that Tam was in the middle of when I said let's go shoot this video. This is actually steel cut oats, which is another great cereal. This cost $3, and this was a, what's the weight on that thing? Let's see, 5.91 pounds, so 6 pounds. She was just taking them out of the bag, and I said leave them in the bag, show the people. Puts them in this bowl, and then what she'll do, as we said before, using a funnel, we'll put them into this bottle. She will put this in the freezer. Now before you would do that, you want to put wax around this lid, and that will seal everything out. You can also buy deoxygenation tablets or packets, and that takes the oxygen out and fills it with carbon dioxide. We haven't found that to be necessary because, again, we rotate quite often, and killing everything inside is what it's all about. The freezer will do that for you. So that's our food items. Some pancake syrup here. Always good to have little staples. Again, you don't want to change your lifestyle more than you have to. Now, I know that everybody understands having things like butt rags out into the wilderness, but listen, if you want to keep your family happy, stock some extra toilet paper. You want to put as much toilet paper away as you can. Our family goes through a half a roll a day or so with 11 or 12 people, and you want to make sure that you have that on hand. Another thing that you want to think about is tools. You want to get away from electric tools, or at least keep some hand tools around on your property. So we have things like axes, mauls, saws that are outside of our emergency kit, but that we can use for larger projects for building. We have extra nails, extra screws, hammers. You can buy hand augers instead of using drills. You've got to keep away from using anything that's electric in an emergency situation because you may not have electric. Another great thing to get is Gorilla Glue. This will hold anything together. It is basically liquid duct tape. Is really, really good stuff. We keep a few bottles of this on hand for emergency repairs, And of course we have rolls and rolls of duct tape laying around everywhere. Duct tape is very, very useful. So think about your tools. Think about what kind of tools you would need. Mostly we could get away with the tools that are in our e-kits when we bug in, but there are some other things that you want to buy that are non-electric that you would use every day. Finally, we were talking about toilet paper a few minutes ago. You want to keep some extra supplies like toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant. Nothing's worse than being stuck in a single room with 11 other people and everybody stinking. So make sure that you have plenty of deodorant on hand. And then we do carry some extra medical supplies as well. We've stocked up on feminine hygiene items. Also, this is hydrogen peroxide. You can buy this. I think this is about 75 cents at the local grocery store. Buy 5 or 6 bottles of this, put it away. We actually mixed down some peroxide from 35% with distilled water as well, and that'll give us 3%. I guess we've got enough set aside for 15 or 20 gallons. So that's plenty of hydrogen peroxide, and it's a good item to have to clean out wounds, disinfect. We also carry some alcohol, some extra medications, some antihistamines, Tylenol, and a little bit of antibiotics as well. So those are things that you want to maintain as well. Think about your family's first aid needs. Again, you don't want to change your lifestyle if necessary. Alright, the next thing that we want to talk about is self-subsistence, because you can't live on the food that you can put away. As I said, if we tried to put food away for our home, we would have to have a whole nother building built, and it would cost us an exorbitant amount just to get all that food put away. It's not reasonable. It's not feasible. We do put water away, as I said. We have a well, and the well house is just about 25 feet from where I'm at. We're going to have a hand pump on there. We have springs, so we have running water available for us. But food is very critical and high on people's list. What if you lost all your food, you ran out of food? Let's say you had a 6-month supply and the emergency went 8 months. Let's say you had a year supply and the emergency went 16 months. Could you still survive? One of the things to do is to build a garden. Now we're at the end of the season. We've allowed the weeds to come up. What we're doing actually, and I will show you some of this, is we don't just cultivate natural foods that you will buy seed for. We also cultivate wild foods as well. But you look at our garden here, and our garden is about 100 by 75 foot. It's a nice sized garden. Again, on the outside edges you can see some protection from ragweed and horseweed and different things growing. Inside the garden you can actually see some different wild edibles here. Here we have lady's thumbprint, and Tam has shown that on another video. We have some lamb's quarters growing. We have what's called pepper grass. You can eat pepper grass. So these things are all available to help out as well. We have then planted crops, and again we've harvested most of everything that we have this year because we're in the end of September. But there's a few things that are winter type crops. You can see some mangels down here that we grow to feed the animals through the winter, as well as hay that we bring up out of our fields. So this is our main garden. You can see that Tam's put some poke out here, and I think if anybody came, they would actually laugh at our garden saying it was just a weed bed, but almost everything in this garden is edible or utilitarian for one purpose or another, even right now at the end of the growing season. The next thing that we have is Tam's herb garden. She has some wildflowers as well as herbs, and this is part of the herb garden. We actually have 2 of these, and she can grow all sorts of different herbs in here. You can see China jute. You can see the flaming red plant. I have no idea. What is it, Tam?
Amaranth family.
Amaranth. It's in the amaranth family. You can see all sorts of different marigolds and floral plants, but in between all those, and those marigolds and different things are to keep out the bugs, in between them are all different herbs.